It has been a remarkable 24 hours over at Trump TV. Last night, the New York Times broke the news that in June, President Trump ordered his White House counsel, Don McGahn, to fire special counsel Robert Mueller, but then backed down after McGahn refused and threatened to quit. Because the story broke shortly before his show, the president's chief propagandist had to scramble to figure out how to cover it, which led to a hilarious reversal in less than an hour. First, Sean Hannity dismissed the story, but then, after finding out his network had itself confirmed parts of it, Hannity changed course, saying, okay, the story may be true, but so what? It doesn't matter. We'll deal with it later, before abruptly throwing to a car crash from the day before.
At this hour, the New York Times is trying to distract you. They have a story that Trump wanted Mueller fired sometime last June, and our sources, and I've checked in with many of them, they're not confirming that tonight. And the president's attorney dismissed the story and says, no, no comment, we're not going there. And how many times has the New York Times and others gotten it wrong? All right, so we have sources tonight just confirming to Ed Henry that, yeah, maybe Donald Trump wanted to fire the special counsel for conflict. Does he not have the right to raise those questions? You know, we'll deal with this tomorrow night. We have a shocking video of the day to bring you, by the way. This footage comes to us from Arizona.
So that was last night. Then this morning, the host of the president's other favorite cable news show pointed to the president calling the story fake news and then told their viewers they shouldn't care about it.
I love that.
There's a big story that apparently the President of the United States last June wanted to fire Robert Mueller.
The president says it's fake news. That happened last June. Do you know, it's something we have to tell you about because it is a headline in the New York Times. What do you think about that? Do you even care? Something you probably do care about is immigration. He said,
you didn't learn anything new.
Yeah, he says it's fake news, so let's move on to talk about something that you all care about. That's the wall, and that's keeping America safe.
Let's get back to that wall. A couple hours after that, Trump TV went ahead and just proceeded to walk back its own reporting.
I'm told that the president never told McGahn to fire Mueller, and McGahn never threatened to quit over it. So, I mean, there is, you know, obviously some competing stories here.
Joining me now, former Breitbart news spokesman and newly minted Democrat Kurt Bardella, who's undergone quite the political evolution. What do you make of that when you watch that?
You know, first of all, I almost feel bad for Ed Henry, who was in a position where he actually confirmed it on the air that he heard that these stories were true. He reported it, essentially. He's got his own network and other reporters completely undermining him. That's how far this, the left, literally, the right hand doesn't know what the far right hand is doing over there.
Well, or that's just getting overridden by the political imperative, which is what it looks like, at least from the outside, though obviously I don't have any special knowledge.
I mean, there used to be some sort of semblance of line between the news journalism side and the quote-unquote commentary side. But it's very clear who's driving the train now.
I think that was always a little quite permeable.
But think how far they've gone. They've gone from the fair and balanced moniker to now so far to the right. They make Breitbart look sane. This is how far that they've gone. It used to be that the Breitbart crowd was the conspiracy theory crowd, that they were the crowd that would run anything, didn't care about any validity journalism, any standards. And now Fox News has completely replaced that. The reason why there's no void with Steve Bannon going down, it's because Fox News took that over a long time ago.
But there's also this thing that happens where it's been sort of fascinating to watch them deal with all this. There is an entire kind of universe that has been created over there, and not just there in Breitbart and other parts of the sort of allied media, that has this kind of impermeability to the outside world. And I'm just wondering, as someone who's used to operate in that universe, how does that operate on the people who actually work in Republican politics?
Well, I think one of the big things that's changed is, again, before there was at least some semblance of some part of the fact being told on Fox News. That there was a legitimate discussion about whether it's public policy, whether it's immigration, whether it's issues that Republicans by and large care about, talk about, think about all day. Now, it's so far removed from, I know so many Republicans who tell me they don't even watch Fox News anymore because they actually want to know what's going on, and they can't watch that to be informed. Otherwise, they're going to end up going on national TV, repeating something that Fox News reported and sounding like idiots.
Which was something similar to like appeared to happen to Ron Johnson with the notorious secret society text, which he had to sort of walk back. I want to show you a little bit more of the way in which Fox has approached Mueller to begin with, because part of what's strange about watching them deny it is they themselves have been calling for him to fire Mueller all along. Take a look at what Hannity had to say back in June.
Mueller needs to, I'm sorry, he needs to be removed. According to Greg Comey and Mueller's relationship may violate, in fact, 2 federal laws. This is beyond now ridiculous, and another reason why this special counsel, Mueller, needs to be shut down immediately.
The acting attorney general who appointed Mueller should fire him because he has a glaring conflict of interest.
Special counsel Mueller's investigation mission creep I've been telling you about. Well, it's now turned into an out-of-control, what is a political witch hunt. It needs to be stopped. He should recuse himself. He's incapable of carrying out a fair and impartial investigation.
You have to wonder the degree to which the president himself got the idea or thought about doing it from watching that.
But we see time and again, you can measure the president's tweets with what's on Fox News programming. There's a complete relationship and a direct symbiosis there. I mean, I think the crazy thing here is Sean said that this should happen. It actually happened. Trump gave the order. He said this should happen. And then he goes on TV to say, well, what does it matter? It's like, it was your idea in the first place. You're the one saying it should happen.
Well, what I find really interesting here is I'm surprised that the tactic they've gone with is to deny it happening when they could just say, well, he had every right to, or he thought about doing it and didn't do it. But instead, they seem to be sort of fighting on the facts, and it's gotten very muddled.
I mean, I'm shocked that the thing that Sean didn't do yesterday was saying, hey, I said this last year. I'm glad you took my advice.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching.
Well, wait 24 hours, and maybe coming up on that version of the news cycle. Kurt Bardella, thanks for being with me.
Thanks, Chris.
Coming up, the finance chief for the Republican Party, one of